It had been a pretty dull day. Katie discovered that even Chance doesn't want to listen to a story for the fourth time. And Orbie learned that the fast car beats a slow truck in every race. And they both found out that nobody really wants to play in the park when it's raining. The two friends were ready for a new game when they heard Mom call and ask Dad, was it in the hall closet? Katie and Orbie wondered what it could be. Mom came to the landing holding a beautiful long dress. Dad hollered, "Eureka!" and pulled a suit in a dry cleaning bag from a closet. "That just leaves Katie and Orbie," Mom said. Dad suggested Katie's special green dress. Mom said Orbie might like a black velvet bow tie. Katie and Orbie were tickling with curiosity. In a silly voice, Dad said, they had been invited to the ball. Like Cinderella, Katie asked. Orbie burbled excitedly. Should he go find some mice and a pumpkin for their coach? Dad said he thought the car would do just fine. It wasn't exactly like Cinderella. Dad's boss had invited all the people who worked for him and their families to a big thank you for working so hard all year dinner party at a fancy restaurant. A very fancy restaurant. Dad looked at Mom. Maybe they should show Katie and Orbie how to behave in such a special place. Katie thought she knew, and so did Orbie, but Dad was talking about table manners. Dad asked everyone to meet him in Le Restaurant Chez K&O. Orbie burbled his confusion, and Dad said, in the kitchen. Dad took out plates, bowls, and cutlery. Mom smiled and asked Katie and Orbie to get a tablecloth and napkins. Then she got glasses. While everyone was busy, Mom and Dad explained that the dinner would be formal, not like dinner at home. They would practice at Chez K&O so they wouldn't feel uncomfortable at the party. Katie wondered what would make them feel uncomfortable, but she didn't have to wonder long. Mom and Dad set the table with more cutlery and glasses than Katie and Orbie had ever seen on the table. Dad asked them to sit down. He would be their pretend waiter. His name would be Henri. Mom said that one trick you could always use was to watch the hostess and do what she did. Then Mom picked up her napkin and put it in her lap. Katie and Orbie put their napkins in their laps too. Orbie tooted that it was a little bit like follow the leader. Henri hemmed and then filled the water glasses. There was another glass left over. It was for their milk. Henri offered pretend rolls from a basket. Mom took one and said that roll should be broken with the fingers, not cut. The friends had no trouble with that. Mom said to take butter from the dish with the butter knife. You put the butter on your side plate, and then you buttered your roll with your own knife. Orbie nodded. He was getting the hang of fancy eating. Katie pointed to a small dish on the table that had a tiny fork in it. What was that, she wanted to know. With a small bow, Henri said that was pretend pickles and olives. He explained that you could help yourself, but you always use the fork that was in the dish. Never serve yourself from a plate or dish with your own fork. That's in case you've already had the fork in your mouth, Mom explained. Germs could get into the food and other people would get them. Henri swirled around and set soup bowls on plates in front of them. Mom pointed to the soup spoon and picked it up. Believe it or not, she said, you dipped soup away from you. Henri said it was so that if it spilled, it wouldn't spill in your lap. And Mom showed them how you should sip your soup from the side of the large spoon. No slurping allowed. Katie and Orbie did it beautifully. Henri said, you never start eating until everyone had been served, and then you wait for the hostess to start. That was your signal. Mom told the two friends they already knew basic good manners. They held their cutlery properly, they chewed quietly with their lips closed, and they never put their elbows on the table. Everybody practiced this. The ever-smiling Henri removed the soup and served the salad. Orbie looked at the two forks beside his plate and burbled the question, which one? Mom said cutlery was actually pretty easy. You just work from the outside in. Orbie picked up the smaller fork and smiled as he pretended to eat salad. Mom and Dad and Katie giggled. Mom said that when they were done, to set the fork on the plate, and the waiter would take it away with the plate. Henri did just that. And then he served the main course. When the plate was placed before her, Katie wanted to know what her pretend dinner was. Henri laughed and said it was a roast and gravy, potatoes, green beans, and carrots. Suddenly, Katie's tummy gurgled. All this pretend eating was making her hungry. Finished? Henri asked. Everyone giggled and nodded. Henri told them he was waiting for a signal so he could take the plates away. Mom put her knife and fork together on the plate. Katie and Orbie did too. Then their perfect waiter took away the plates. "Is there dessert?" Orbie burbled. Mom asked what Orbie would like and agreed that cherry pie sounded good. "Dessert, madame?" said Henri as he set a plate with a pie fork on it in front of Mom. Dessert utensils generally came with the dessert, Mom told them. And when everyone was served, they thoroughly enjoyed their pretend pie. When they were finished, they folded their napkins and set them on the table beside their dessert plates, just like Mom. Mom and Henri applauded. Katie and Orbie managed the pretend dinner perfectly. When things were cleared away, Henri turned back into Dad, and everyone scurried around getting ready. And I'll bet you know what happened. They all had a wonderful time at the dinner party. Katie and Orbie knew exactly what to do. When the salad was served, the gentleman next to Orbie looked confused. Orbie picked up his salad fork and twirled it slightly. The man smiled and picked up his salad fork too. All the guests were very impressed with Katie and Orbie. And do you know that you can use good manners too? When you do, everybody you dine with will be very impressed with you because you know you are a pretty impressive person.
Did you know? No. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? There are lots of things you can do with an old newspaper, even if you can't read it. You can wrap presents with the colored comics, make a paper hat, or boat, or cut it into strips and make a paper mache mask.